Welcome back to Crypto Meets AI. Jerry here with an update for you. Do me a favor, friends. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. Now let's get into this. The IMF shift toward digital special drawing rights, (e-SDRs), requires an asset that is liquid, neutral, and interoperable across jurisdictions. XRP's design, deterministic settlement, liquidity aggregation, and scalability almost aligns perfectly with the technical requirements of a digital SDR system. Breaking. XRP just did what no other major crypto could. 15 straight days of inflows. Grayscale, Bitwise, Franklin Templeton, Canary Capital. These firms now collectively hold 0.7% of XRP's entire market cap, and they are buying at $2 levels without hesitation. Let that sink in. 15 consecutive days of net inflows during a market where almost every other crypto product is seeing outflows. This is deliberate accumulation by the deepest pockets in finance. And here's the part the market has not priced in. XRP products are leading inflows in Europe and globally this year. XRP is one of the only major assets posting positive returns, and Ripple is accelerating institutional adoption with acquisitions like GTreasury that rebuild the entire digital settlement stack. Someone is positioning ahead of the revaluation, and they're doing it in plain sight. All in crypto with Beyond broke on how Ripple's XRP can impact the financial system as one of the most compliant, interconnected crypto tokens in the US. They can absolutely start using XRP today. And the reason they can is because XRP and Bitcoin are the only two that actually have legal clarity in the US.
It's got the most clarity of anything else aside from Bitcoin here in the US until the Clarity Act is passed. And so if there were a systemic crisis where you needed a liquidity provision or an exchange rate peg, they could absolutely start using XRP today to be able to settle that real time on the back end of the stock market with the DTCC. And when I was at Swell here recently, they had the president of NASDAQ interviewed by Monica Long first day. And she actually said that the first place that they're going to start using distributed ledger technology is to settle the back end of the stock market with DTCC and reconcile the trades.
Wow.
And I was like, sure, that's interesting. I
It's
wonder
very interesting. Yeah.
who's been talking about that with Project Ion for a
Yep.
while. So I think that at scale, people are used to volatility in crypto because of the speculation. There'll be FOMO, price runs up, and then a large whale will sell, or there will be shorts that are opened through the CME or other markets. And then we see things fall aggressively back down, up 90% or more in bear markets. Once these assets have enough liquidity in them for them to start being used, there'll be sustained volume, similar to what we've seen for the Bitcoin ETFs and why we haven't seen so much volatility this cycle. If you have consistent buy and sell volume at scale, it'll hold price stability for these assets. And I think that's what you're going to see with XRP. Once it's pushed up above $100, they will start leveraging it to settle the back end of some of these markets, and it will not come back down and see the prices that we're seeing today, in my personal opinion. So there may be a play there. Maybe it jumps up above where they need it and it pulls back and there's a price floor at some point because of the volume it's being used to settle things for. And then that provides a backstop. And then you really do have financial institutions lean in because this is now backing global markets effectively.
The only question I have, do you believe it will be a controlled collapse or just chaos and uncontrolled collapse within the market system, within the liquidity, Japan, and the rest of the world? Quantitative tightening is over. The liquidity is back. Vanguard, 11 trillion under management, just opened the floodgates to regulated crypto ETFs, which they said they would never do. Go figure. Trillions in passive capital are now cleared for entry. This is the macro environment XRP was made for. Liquidity, compliance, global settlement. The floor isn't rising. The system is. Holy shit. Listen to this. He said a few years ago.
Man, everybody wants to know, how did you get the XRP ticker symbol? That's prime real estate right there.
All credit goes to Hunter Horsley. Our CEO at Bitwise, a few years ago, you have to reserve these tickers. So you have to petition the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ that you want to reserve these tickers, that you're planning to launch an ETF related to that ticker. And then you have to prove that you're planning to do that. You have to show momentum in that direction. And we looked back in our archive. It was a few years ago. Hunter told Teddy that we wanted to reserve this because we knew we were marching in the direction of XRP. So really excited to have that ticker. The ticker is not everything, but it's an important thing. And obviously that is the iconic ticker. So it was great to have that for launch.
Absolutely.
Matt Hogan also says that the Ripple ETF launch is due to a change in regulatory environment. The SEC lawsuits once held back XRP, slowing adoption and partnerships. Now that lawsuit is resolved, Bitwise launched the XRP ETF, giving both the community and institutions an easy way to invest.
You also recently launched a Ripple ETF. Why did you focus on Ripple?
Yeah, so Ripple has an extraordinarily strong community. It's a Lindy asset that's been around for a long time. And therefore, we think people want exposure to it in an ETF. And then the second sort of implied question, I think, in your question is what about its real world use case? And my view on Ripple is that this is a blockchain that faced existential regulatory threat for the past X years. The SEC was suing it basically out of existence. As a result, there was no chance for it to have any real world adoption because who was going to partner and build on Ripple when it faced existential lawsuits from the SEC? Just not going to happen. Now those lawsuits have been removed, and there's a chance that this blockchain finds real world use cases now that it can compete on a level playing field. So we launched the ETF to let the community and people who are interested have high quality exposure in an easy ticker. We have a great ticker there, by the way. The ticker is XRP, which is pretty cool. We reserved that one a while ago, waiting for this. And then the investment case is there's a reason we haven't seen dramatic scaled real world adoption. That reason was the regulatory threat. And now it's been released. And so that doesn't guarantee that Ripple succeeds or that XRP succeeds, but it means that
What it means is Ripple and XRP are actually able to compete on a level playing field. The chips aren't stacked against them anymore. If you don't believe mass adoption is here, here's some more proof for you. Big move. Billionaire Trump backer just went full crypto. Andy Bill, worth over $9 billion and known for making some of the biggest distressed asset wins in U.S. banking, is unveiling a federally chartered crypto bank called Monet Bank. This is the guy who turned crisis trades into multi-billion-dollar empires, now building crypto rails inside the U.S. banking system. When someone this rich, this strategic, and this close to policy bets on crypto, it's not speculation. It's a signal of where the next wave of real capital is heading. Don't forget, this has been planned out many years in advance. Crypto can and should fit seamlessly into existing user experience and ultimately improve it. Deb Soon from Privia broke it down at Stellar House Miami. She's absolutely correct. What's going to happen is people are going to be using cryptocurrency and not even know it. Just like they use email and have no clue how it works on the back end. They just send the email and it works. That's all they know. Same with cryptocurrencies and DLT. People will be using blockchain technology and not even realize it.
The end user should not need to really understand how crypto works. And that means like hiding the wires, and it means that the experiences that they are used to in terms of how they use a Venmo or how they use an Uber or how they use an everyday app that is part of their life. If there's crypto in it, they should not have to understand it in order to use it, right? And I think that's why we've talked a lot about stablecoins and how it's crypto's killer app, because people can understand things that are denominated in dollars.
And last up, Ondo Finance. Today, we submitted our roadmap for tokenized securities to the SEC. Tokenization is rapidly reshaping global markets, but in the U.S., progress is being slowed by false debate. Which single model of tokenization should win out? Our view, it's a false choice. Direct registration, beneficial ownership, and wrapped and linked security ownership models all coexist in financial markets today, and all have meaningful roles to play on-chain. In our letter, we urge the SEC to allow for all three models by supporting both direct and intermediate ownership models, embracing permissioned, permissionless, and hybrid blockchains, providing targeted regulatory clarity for transfer agent-based tokenization, enabling broader tokenization of securities held in the DTC. Our thesis remains simple. All assets are moving on-chain, and the U.S. is well positioned to lead this shift. Increasing the SEC's focus on tokenized security products that link to the DCC is a great place to start. That plays to the strengths of the American system as it is. Empowering investors, including through responsible use of public permission systems, should be a core part of U.S. policy. Giving investors more control over their own assets is exactly what the blockchain is all about, and the SEC should be doing more to support that. Ondo looks forward to supporting the SEC as it advances this important work. Well, that's what I have for you folks. Until next time, stay savvy, stay stacking, and I'll catch you in the next one. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and comment down below. And if you want more crypto deep dives, check out our videos right here on Crypto Meets AI. Thank you for watching. Remember to always do your own research. This is not financial advice.